Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Class Lady. Welcome over to my channel. I'm a new content creator slash reaction channel. Been in tomorrow be 11 weeks in. I would appreciate your support by hitting the like bell, which would mean you would be subscribing to my channel. It's free. It just basically it will let you know whenever I come on live. Also, the thumbs up button, that's very important because it'll also let you know if you don't know I'm on and people come in and hit the thumbs up button, it'll push me out into the algorithm, and then you can be notified as well. On my channel, I don't tolerate disrespect, insults, or derogatory comments towards me or anybody in the chat. Anybody up in the bushes, you're welcome to drop down and speak to everybody, and also engage in any conversation that may interest you. So with that being said, normally speak to my people when first come in. Y'all dropped in real quick. Hey, loving my grandsons. Hey, Zell, how y'all doing this afternoon? Hey, other people in the bushes, how y'all doing? Feel free to drop down if you want to. All you have to do is hit the little wave button or just say hi and start talking. I know it's not easy to just drop in people chat that you don't know, but that will kind of break the ice, because I know some people chat that I listen to, and that's what I do. I just go drop down and speak to the host. When you drop down and speak to the host, sometimes they recognize you and see you, and sometimes they don't. A lot of channels will recognize you if you have a membership to that channel. Well, right now, I'm not to that point where I have memberships because I would be promoting it. I would be saying something like, super stickers, super chats are available. Please subscribe. Please join my channel. That sounds kind of good to say that, so I just said that. Super thanks. There's a little heart button at the bottom. So, cha. Y'all gonna have to start giving me some ideas, because I'll be like, I got nothing. I took a long nap today. Yeah, I took a real long nap. I laid down about 3, and I didn't get back up until about 6:45. And that happened because I went outside. Hey, Gloria, how you doing? I had a bunch of these little brown stringy stuff. It almost looked like fern from the trees, but it's not fern. It's another type of thing. I don't know what it is, but it's some brown little squiggly things, and it fell from the neighbor's tree all on my driveway. So I'm looking around, and my driveway is the only one that got these brown squiggly things on there. My tree is not even that big, because one of the storms we had, it uprooted my tree. Because by now my tree in the front yard should be like the neighbor's yard, a huge tree. So she got her stuff up for sale. I'm at my 5-minute mark. Let me make my second entry. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Classy Lady. Welcome over to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. That's the little bell, the notification bell. It will let you know when I come on. Also, the thumbs up button is very important, because it pushes me out into the algorithm to let other people know that I'm on YouTube. So if y'all could hit that, that would be greatly appreciated. On the channel, I don't tolerate derogatory insults or racial slurs or comments to me or anybody in the chat. All right, let me go back and speak up to my... I see Caribou, where you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. And Gloria. Welcome over, y'all. I hope y'all had a good day today. So anyway, them little squiggly things fell in the yard, and I had been looking at them. And I guess that's the side that I get from my dad. Because if my dad, that stuff would have fell in his yard, in his driveway, he would have had a fit. The difference between me and him, he got blowers. And I said, that might be something I need to, I need to purchase. Get me a blower. Because I mean, it was just covered. Oh, you know what? I think it looked like seaweed, but it's brown. And it is little. And it almost would look like a bunch of worms in the driveway, but it's not. It's some type of little seaweed or something. And I know it came from the tree, and it came from the neighbor's tree. Well, she have the house next door up for sale. And the person that's there is leasing the place, and they've been there for a year now. I don't know why they won't consider purchasing the house, but maybe she wants too much for it. I don't know, but you're living there, you're leasing it every day. Why not just go ahead and buy it? So I think she has either a yard person, or maybe the guy has a yard person that comes there. And I noticed that on my driveway after the yard man came. I think the yard man had his lawnmower turned the wrong way and blew all that stuff. Blew all that stuff in my driveway. So today I came from the doctor, and I said, well, I ate. I put a short up of what I bought. I bought some fried chicken for the first time in a long time, because going to Popeyes and stuff, they just don't do you right. So I went to this other place. You know how we had them local chicken places in the area, wings and crawfish and fish and all of that. And so this place been open a couple of years. So I went there, and I got some wings, and it came with fries. But I guess I could have got sweet potato fries, because I tasted those for the first time, and those were fire. Even on reheat, those were fire. But I ended up getting a seafood rice, and they call it seafood rice because it had, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I ain't seen no crawfish in there. Maybe it's at the bottom, but it was supposed to be shrimp and crawfish, and with the vegetables, peas and carrots. But when I tell you they give you a lot, I don't know. I guess that big scoop they have, and they just pack it in there, and you think it's just a little bit, but when you start fixing it on your plate, it's like it never ends. So that's what I had today, or that's what some of what I had today, because I put 2 chicken wings on there, and I put some rice on there. I kind of nooked it, heated up a little bit. Child, I think I took about 4 bites of that rice, and a half a chicken wing, which was the drum part. Ate that. I was tapped out. I was so full. I don't know if it was because I was drinking on that slush or what, but I tapped out. I couldn't even eat a whole wing, just the drum of it. So now I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Hey, kiss this ring. Hey, Rona. God bless you too. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you as well. I welcome any blessings. Any blessing. Because today, honey, y'all, I was calling on Jesus. After I ate, I said, well, let me go take this trash out. Before I say that, welcome everybody. I'm Classy Lady. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. I'm a new content/reaction channel. Tomorrow make 11 weeks that I've been on. I am pushing for 1,000 subscribers. I'm halfway there. Thank you to everybody that have subscribed so far. Tell your friends. Get your husband phone, your kids phone. Well, I don't Well, yeah, you can have them subscribe, but they won't be able to view the channel unless they're over 25. But that'll give me a person, and sometimes I may release it to kids if I'm talking about something that I think would interest them. But anyway, just share it. If you got 2 devices, put me on there. Y'all got tablets and 2 phones and 3 phones. Y'all got different emails. Sign me up. Sign me up. Beam me up, Scotty. The thumbs up button helps get me out there in the algorithm so people will know when I come on, whether they view my channel on a regular basis or they just passing by. You know, I try to put catchy titles that I'm going to talk about so that it will draw people in. Some topics draw a lot of people in. Some topics don't draw a lot of people in. So it's a hit and miss with this YouTube stuff. And I'm fairly new. I'm what you call a preemie. I'm a preemie on here. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get me out there. So thank y'all for coming over. Thank y'all to the ones that's already been supporting me, and thank you to the new supporters. Hey Daytime TV. Hey Marva. Hey LaWanda. Hey y'all. So anyway, I was telling a story about what I did today. So after I ate, I said, let me go outside and let me go and pull the trash. Now, I don't remember what size trash can we had before, but now we have a 95-gallon trash can. That trash can, if anybody got that humongous trash can, that's a heavy booger to pull by itself. It's heavy. But to pull it with a bunch of trash in there, I don't put trash out every Tuesday and Thursday. I may put trash out in 2 weeks. I miss a Tuesday and Tuesday and a Saturday. Tuesday and Saturday I may not put it out. Tuesday and Saturday I may put it out or I may not. So it may be almost 3 weeks depending on what I cook. You know, now if I cook something and it smells and thing, yeah, I'll drag it out. So I drug it out and I was like, Lord have mercy. But my driveway was with this stuff on it. And I said, well, I'm getting ready to pull the trash out. I need to, sweep this driveway. So I got an old crooked broom I had. And that may be something I need to go to the hardware store to get one of those push brooms. Because that would have been easier to do. And it came from the neighbor's tree because my tree is not that big yet. And it don't come over my driveway. And I swept them little squiggly things, and I was going to sweep them up. I said, shoot, let me sweep this in the grass. I was sweeping the grass. I mean, my driveway was covered. Looked like little worms on my driveway. Just looked like, it was horrible. My neighbor didn't have it in her yard. This neighbor that's selling the house wasn't nothing in their driveway. The finicky HOA that we have, when they come around, they would, and it may be a letter in the mailbox now. I ain't been to the mailbox. I don't go to the mailbox every day no more, especially if I ain't getting no check in there or nothing that I think I'm getting in there some money. Hey, Yo-Yo, how you doing? So, anyway, hey, Valentine, baby. I swept that driveway, and I took so many breaks leaning on the driveway, and my back, the way my back is set up, my back was hurting me so bad. I say, Lord, please let me finish sweeping this stuff up. I was being responsible because it's my house. I don't want my house looking anyway, so I had to go out there and take care of it. Who was going to do it? Now, I could have went to the store and bought a blower, which I think I may invest in a blower. So next time, I pray that it ain't no next time, that I might have to go out there and blow the driveway and get that stuff off of there because the yard man is not due until next week to come. So I took so many breaks sweeping that stuff out. I said, Lord, the way I had to go sit down because I was hurting so bad. And the closest seam I get them injections in my back, the harder it is. And I'm supposed to, Lord say the same. I need to call tomorrow to make sure they do have me on the schedule. I'll get them Monday. And the only thing, You have to be responsible by taking care of your business and doing this and doing that. But why do, and this goes to anybody that have had a surgery or a surgical procedure, and it's an outpatient. Yeah, it's an outpatient procedure. Why do these people wait till the last minute? And I have a feeling. I called over about a month ago for somebody to tell me what's what. They didn't call me back. That's on me because I didn't follow up. But why do they wait till maybe Thursday or Friday for one to give you a time as to what time you have to come in? Which I know my doctor does it early because when I talk to him and stuff, he said that he does it, more early in the morning. He don't really do, most doctors don't like to do surgeries in the afternoon unless it's an emergency. Rarely are you going to get a doctor to do a surgery after 1 o'clock unless you're already in the hospital and they have to wait for them to put them in a slot. But that's been my experience. That's been my experience. That when I'm in the hospital, that's the only time I have gotten like a surgery at 1 o'clock. And the last time I had a late surgery, it was like 7, and they pushed my doctor back because they had emergency surgeries coming through. Meanwhile, I had 8 since the day before, and I'm laying up there in pain. Now he came in and he checked on me, and when we thought we was going in, gave me a little something to calm my nerves, but then it started going later and later. So I kept sending messages to him, and what happened on that? Now we're going into accountability and part responsibility, me being responsible for something that's going on with me. And I'm laying up there and I'm in pain. I mean, I'm in pain. That medicine had been wore off, and I'm laying up there aching, 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 to the point a little tear, and the tear came out on this side. And normally, like I said, I'm not a crier. I got to be in a lot of pain, and I tolerate a lot of pain. I have to be in a lot of pain, or of course, a close loved one is ill or pass on, and then if I get real, 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 real super mad, I get super mad and I start crying. You better watch out if it's been a tornado coming through. I don't care if I got to be swinging like this or I'm swinging like that or something, or I'm tongue lashing because you did something to me that I didn't approve of, and I let you, like I said, I let you slide with it. I let you slide with it. So that would be the only time. So I'm laying up there, and then I told them, I said, I need something for pain. I need y'all to go get my doctor. Because I kept hearing them, somebody here, this lady came in, which her surgery could have waited a little bit. Uh, what was it? I think they said appendicitis or something like that. Well, she had already, I ain't laughing at that, Lord. Well, she had already been waiting. She didn't even want to come to the hospital. But then y'all put her before me. Somebody else over here. They came. So I'm wondering, what's up? My doctor ain't came back in here and said nothing or whatever. He did check again. And then so uh when I told them, no, go get my doctor. I say, I'd be probably in the lounge or something. Go get my doctor. So I said, I'm in a lot of pain. By this time, I had gotten pissed off. I told you, a little teardrop came here, and a little teardrop. I was mad then. I was about to get up. I was getting ready to ask Jesus to send a miracle. I was getting ready to walk up out. I was getting ready to walk up out that bed. I was hurting. I was pissed off. I'm laying up there. I ain't ate. And then this medicine then wore off. And then when the medicine wear off, it seemed like the pain hit you like a freight train. And like I said, I could tolerate a lot of pain. People, I know that anybody that would have been having that pain that I had wouldn't have took it. But I'm laying up there, So the doctor came in, and this is my doctor I see every week, and this is my foot doctor, and I told y'all, me and him, we like, how you do that? Like that. Um, I've been seeing it for a long time, and we built up a patient doctor reputation where if something is bothering me, it's kind of like people go to the bar and stuff, or even go see a psychiatrist or psychologist. They sit up there and they talk to them about it. So while he working on my feet, I'm sitting up there talking to him about something, or something bothering me or whatever. Or if he come in the room, like y'all say, he can feel my energy. I can feel his energy. He can feel mine. I can tell when something off about him, and then he can tell when something off about me. Because he going to always ask me how I'm doing, hug and kiss. And I be like, you know. And he'll be like, well, what's going on? What's happening? Then that's my opportunity. So when he came back in there to check on me, I say, do you realize how long I've been laying up in this bed? I say, you told me I was going in at say 11 o'clock. Uh it's 3 o'clock. I ain't had nothing to eat. I said, I'm pissed off because I'm in pain. He said, why you didn't? He said, they didn't give you anything. I said, ain't nobody gave me nothing. I said, that medicine you gave me earlier, that done wore off. I say, now, I don't like this. I said, I ain't never been through this before. He said, classy lady, I haven't either. He said, they keep pushing you back, saying that they getting emergency surgeries coming in, so those rooms, every room is full, and so I have to wait until we can get in. I say, well, we can't do this tomorrow when they ain't full, And he said, no. He said, you need to go ahead and go in today. And he said, I'm not putting nothing off on you or whatever. He said, don't feel bad. He said, you know me. He said, I'm already kicking up saying. He said, I tell him off and tell him what I got to tell him when somebody do something to me. And yes, he will. And he said, plus, I'm hungry too. I'm tired of buying all that stuff out the vending machine. Say, do you know how much stuff I done ate out that vending machine waiting to take you into surgery? I say, well, bring some to me. And he said, I'm eating all kind of stuff. He said, I don't do all that, eat all that stuff. He said, but I'm in there. So he said, let me go back and see what's what. Y'all, I didn't go into surgery until 7 o'clock that night. Mind you, I didn't miss the breakfast. That wasn't so good. I done missed the lunch. That wasn't so good. But I could at least got a sandwich or a hamburger. I done missed dinner. So by the time I have surgery and I get back up in the room, it's dang near 9 o'clock. Cafeteria closed. Everything closed. Thank God that my brother and sister-in-law and dad and them know, or I do, I buy my snacks before I go in there. And then, when they bring your tray, if I get like a Jello cup or something like that, I may not eat it and I'll put it to the side. And they give you the little small cans of soda. I put that to the side. And then I, have my like peanut butter crackers and chips. That's what I survived on that night. I was so mad. I say, this don't make any sense. He said, I'm mad too. He said, because this has never happened to me. He said, but trust and believe they gonna hear about it. I say, well, but that's being, taking accountability. I mean, he apologized and everything, but the people just, like, I don't know if they thought he was a pushover or something. I said, y'all don't want that man to come out of character, because he's not going to be nice. He's very sweet. Has a very good bedside manner with his patients. He's very caring and stuff like that. But when it comes to the medical end and stuff like that, he don't play. He don't play about that. And he dang sure ain't gonna play about his patient being in pain. And especially me, I'm one of his good patients. I'm one of the ones I know he loves me. Hey, Marva. So I know he loves me because, like I said, that reputation. I know about his kid, what happened to his daughter. I know a good bit in the life that I could that we have shared over the years. I done seen assistants come and go. I seen many of them come and go. Yeah, but you have to take accountability for the one that, yeah, no, yes and no. They don't do that. These days you got to pay for it. And I don't mind paying, but when I was putting the trash out, hey ADHD, I decided to go ahead and try and get that stuff up. And I had gotten a box. So nevertheless, I never did put any of the trash in the box. I just swept it in the grass. I had to go on both. I mean, it was thick, down a little thick. And then as I was taking a break, now I'm the broom, and I got the broom holding me up because, like I said, the way my back is set up, I don't know how I get full pinch nerves and arthritis, but I had to lean on the broom. And then as I'm just looking up at my house and stuff, because I want to make sure ain't no paint chipping and nothing. I see a big old crack in the wood up there. I say, well, now how did that get up there? And it wasn't like a crooked crack. It was the separation from the wood. So either they put a piece of wood and a piece of wood and then paint over it, and over the years the paint then. I say, now the way the homeowners association is, they gonna have a camera and zoom up on there, and then they gonna say I need to replace some wood because I had like a little crack at the corner of my house. How did they see that crack from where they zoomed up in there? Sometimes I think they pick at my house because I'm down, but then I'm at a T, and so I think they pick at me because a lot of stuff they pick at me about. And I could look around at other people's house, they ain't did nothing. Like maybe power wash the house, um, maybe plant some grass or something like that. Uh, Let me see what else. Oh, like tomorrow, I hope so. My neighbor and them will pull my trash can in. They'll pull it all the way up to the garage door. And it's been time that I don't come out on Wednesday and get it. Sometimes I forget. And I may come out on Thursday. Sometimes I ain't came out the house on Thursday. It's still sitting there. So Friday, if I said, oh, God, dog, I forgot the trash can. Now, I ain't the only one, because people then left their trash can on the side of the street for 1 or 2 days. But I get a letter. I get a letter for anything. Oh, your tree branches is over the sidewalk. That stuff, that's responsibilities and stuff when you have a house. It's good to have a house. I love my house. I don't think I would trade it in for apartment life. Um, but that's the kind of responsibilities that come with it. You got to keep your house painted. The garage door one time faded. I don't know how it faded. It looked like somebody threw something on my garage door. That's what it actually looked like. And the sun was beaming on it, and it actually showed. I was like, now who threw something on my garage? You never know what people do when you inside. Because I've come outside or I've left the house and my garage panel door is open. And at first I thought it was my yard man doing that. And I say, no, because he ain't been here. I said when he was here that day, he did put it up. But this happened another time. So somebody, I don't know if they're trying to change my code so they'll be able to come in or what. So I've been bought some lights, and when I come back from my vacation, I'm gonna have to go ahead and re-find somebody because I did get 2 quotes, and I thought it was no, I got 3. The third person that I was going to use didn't come back. So the other two were very expensive to me. I didn't think it took that much because I want two lights on the side of the garage door. I want, I have a light that's up on the porch, but I bought the chandelier light that matches the two lights. And then I only want three, what you call that, spotlights, sensor lights. I bought one for one side because the way the bulbs go, it shoots a long way. So it would light up once going to the back, it would light up coming to the front. And then on the other side, I just want to light the areas between the houses of me and my neighbor. And then the back, I want to take the light that's off the back and then put one at the back and it'll shoot out in the. And that's all I want. And so the prices they quoted me, the devil is a lie. Because it ain't going to take you that long. If you're an electrician, a master electrician, it's not going to take you that long to put them lights up there. I know that. If I had time and could Google it, I would do it myself. But that's not me. That's not my forte. I'm not just to take on the responsibility of something that I start and I know I can't finish. Or I know that's not for me. That's just not for me to be on no ladder trying to put some lights up and drill holes. That's not me. That's why certain things, I'm going to take accountability and responsibility for things that I need to do, that I know I need to do. But stuff that's not in what I know I can do, I don't fool with that. I'm going to depend on somebody else. That's where my dependability going to come in. But at the same time, I'm going to pay you for your service. I don't expect nobody to come over here and do anything for me free. That's just like my godmother. I've never asked her in all my days to hem up something or anything like that. She's made those the caftans or the muumuus but it's not the ones with the pockets. It's the not with the nice material and stuff. And so, matter of fact, I had my mom's on the day when I went outside. Something like that. But I've never asked her to hem up or take up anything and expect her to do it for free. So, the sundresses and the pants, and she had already took up two of them. She wanted me to try them on. Them doggone pants legs still wide. She say, well, they wear them like that. I say, godmother, they don't wear them that. She say, yeah, because when I measured that pants, that 39 inches wide, that's too wide. I said, that's too wide, godmother. And even when she took them in some, they still got a little swing in them. So I told her, hopefully she can finish them by Friday and I can pick them up and go ahead and put the outfits in the cleaners because I am going to have to put them in the cleaners for them to do the crease in them. So yeah, I'm going to have to do that. But, I asked, I say, about how much you going to charge me? She said, no, what you think? I said, oh, Lord. I don't want you to think what I think. So she said, well, you give me what you think. And then if I feel that that's a little much, then I'll tell you no, and give you something within that. Or if I don't think that's you giving me enough, then I said, oh, Lord. I don't know, godmother, if I had that much cash. But I don't know. But whatever. Because like I said, if I had to take it to the cleaners, I would have had to pay a arm and two legs to get them pants legs. What I say, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 2 of them are jumpers that she dang near got to pretty much almost redo them because them suckers was so big. And she looked, she said, "Oh my, they are big." I said, "Uh-huh." I said, "I lost some weight." I say, "I don't buy them tight for one." I say, "But I done lost some weight." I say, "Because I can't wear these, period." I say, "You're going to have to really take these in all the way down, like from the waist down." I say, "The tops are okay. But going down," I said, "Mm-mm." And then I had one that really, I think need to be re-zipped. But I told her, "Don't really worry about that. I done had that for years. I ain't wore it yet. So I might need to lose a little bit more weight in the waist or back area." But yeah, being responsible. Hey, April, how you doing? Welcome over. So, we have to be responsible and take accountability for the things we do. But like I said, those of you who have a house, y'all know it's a lot of responsibility. But if you can get it under control and keep it under control, that's good. Because I pretty much think everything I have is under control. It's just that my funds is not there. Because like right now, I would like to repaint. I'm gonna have to get my doors in the house redone because, like I said, at the time when I had to stay off my feet and be in a wheelchair, child, I done ate them doors up at the bottom. I done ate them up, not just to scratch the surface off the paint. It done dug some of the wood off. So the doors are gonna have to be redone. I'm not gonna replace them. They're gonna just be repainted. I would like to just repaint my house for freshness because I've been here 2001 to 6, 25 years. It's a brand new house. Like my husband said, we was the first one to poop and crap it and pee in our own house. So 2001 and 26, that's 25. In May, it'll be 25 years. So I kind of want a facelift. And I would like to freshen up the paint and replace boards because there are boards by the doorways that need to be replaced. Replace those, and then well, I'm gonna have to get it power washed because the bottom from the grass, the mildew and stuff, I need to get it repower washed and the driveway power washed again. So it's taking responsibilities of what you need to do, and it is not easy, but I streamline my bills. I told you I don't pay a lot for cable. I'm not going to pay for all that junk that I don't watch. Uh, Give me my internet, and I got a Fire Stick. That's it. Whatever I can't get on there, I'm not getting. And trust me, I don't. My Fire Stick is free right now. I just pay internet. Uh, I don't have that many gigabytes because I'm not on a laptop or computer. I may upgrade it, but that's it. So, the worst thing to me is that doggone electricity. That electricity bill will tear a hole in your pocket. And that's even if you're in an apartment. It'll tear a hole in your pocket. I don't know what they doing with these windmills and stuff that they're putting up or say it's supposed to help with the energy. And it's already hot. It's already hot. So uh, I'm glad we purchased a house. Uh, During my divorce, I choose to stay in my house because I know that he wasn't gonna keep it up. He would have, if I would have left the house, he wouldn't have stayed in this house. He wouldn't have paid. He wouldn't have. No, he wasn't that kind of person. He wouldn't have stayed here. So then there go my credit. And like I said, your credit and your name will take you a long way. Having good credit or decent credit and being able to sign on a dotted line for something, baby, you can get a bunch of stuff. You who talk crap when they go into the dealership? Me. We trading papers. This what I want to pay. This what I think you should pay. I told one of the men, you must be crazy. I never will forget that. I told him, I said, you must be crazy. I said, you must be crazy. He looked at me, he said, now you crazy. I said, well, we both crazy. Because I'm not fit to pay this what you put on this paper. He said, oh, yes, you are if you want that car. I said, oh, no, I ain't, and I'm going to get that car. So we went back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. He would give me, say, okay, well, we can do this. And every time we went back and forth, guess what? I gave him that same piece of paper. I said, this is what I'm paying. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? Because at that time, I had good credit. And I'm getting ready to give you a down payment, too. A lot of people go into a dealership, and even if their credit is good, they don't put a down payment. They just tell them they ain't putting a down payment. I gave a down payment, and I always paid tax, title, and license, not in my car payment, because I don't care. 10, 15, $20, $30 makes a difference. So I never let them put tax, title, and license in my car payment. That's always paid separate, and then they still get a down payment. And then my credit is good. So you gonna give me what you think I'm gonna pay? No, sir. This is what I want to pay. This is what I want to pay. And not only this is what I want to pay, I want a brand new car. I don't want nobody been and drove the car. I don't want no miles on the car. Zero across the board. That's what I want. And that's when I bought my Millennium. I said I wanted black. I want a roof. And give me the leatherette seats. I'm not picky on the color of the seats. But I do want a black car. And I want a sunroof. And this is what I want to pay. I don't want nobody to drive it. He said, I know you crazy. I say, well, okay. I tell you what. He located that car. He located the car. He had him to direct it to his dealership. He said, it's saying it has 0 miles. And I say, so when I come to get it, make sure it stay that way. Tell the man, don't drive it off of there. Roll it down, and y'all push it into the parking space. He really thought I was crazy. I said, and don't call me unless we talking this price. So I took my little car and I went on to work and stuff like that. And I say, remember, don't call me, because I'm not paying more than what I told you on that paper. I said, if you call me and you telling me we got to negotiate, I said, I'm going to cuss you out on the phone. That's what I'm going to do. So I went on to work or whatever, and the car came. And he said, well, the car's here. Do you think you can come in? I say, no. I say, I'm at work now. I say, are we talking about what I talked about on that paper? Well, nothing. I say, I already told you what I'm paying and what I'm not going to pay. And I told you I was going to cuss you out. But being that I'm in the area where my coworkers and stuff, I ain't going to do it. I say, but I can step out, take a quick break and step out and give you the business. No, we gonna work it out. We gonna work it out. Can you come in tomorrow? I say, yeah. So I went in and I say, make sure they don't. So I got in there. The car was sitting there. He say, that's it right there. I said, ooh. I say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He say, and I told the man, just push it down, because this is a crazy woman that's buying this car. So, okay, you can call me crazy. We go in to make a deal. He said they ain't got no miles on it. But he said, let me explain something to you, because you hard-headed or you don't want to. He said, this key to this car, if you lose this key, it's going to cost you $235 to replace this key. And I know you crazy, so I'm trying to tell you. So I said, do I get 2 keys? Yeah, you get 2 keys, but this is the master key, because it got the, the big thing on it. He said, you got another key, but this key will cost you $235. I said, well, why does the key cost so much? Because they got some kind of magnetic chip in there. I say, well, why would they do some dumb stuff like that? But anyway, so I said, okay, I got you. But, you still can stick the key in the keyhole and get in there or whatever. But he was telling me about that key. So that day, I had at that time, it was my fiance to bring me to the dealership. So he met him, and he looked up at him. He looked at me. He said, man, she said, y'all getting married. I say, yeah. He say, yeah. He said, that's the craziest woman. He said, you sure you know what you doing? He said, that's the craziest woman I ever met. I said, now why would you tell my fiance that? I said, now you get ready to lose the whole deal to tell them that. Well, I'm just telling the truth. I say, well, you the craziest man I ever met. Now, how about that? So I was able to, when I got my car, we made the deal. We made the deal with what I had on that paper. Like I said, I wasn't changing my mind because I could have went to another dealership and they would have glad they took it. He didn't want to lose that sale, so he had to sell that car. When I got in that car, and I told him, oh, I need a tank of gas. Now, you know, that man looked at me like I was crazy. He said, well, I have this survey, and I need you to bring the survey back to me. Hey, Trina. He said, I need you to bring the survey back to me. I say, so you expect me to get off this freeway and come detour and come bring you a survey? You don't want me to mail it? I said, oh, I'm going to need another tank of gas at that time. I said, I'm going to need another tank of gas. Believe you me, I got they went to the gas station. I had a full tank of gas. When I drove that car off that lot, I pulled every piece of paper on the inside of that car. I was the one pulled the paper off. He said, I told him don't take nothing off. I pulled all the paper out. The mats were new. I had to undo all of that. And the first, I looked at the odometer. That was the first thing. And it said 0 across. That's what I wanted. Because the previous cars I had before, I had put 100,000, 200,000, almost 300,000. So I wanted to put my own miles because I know I like to drive. I like to go. So I was going to do that. So, yeah. And trust and believe, I held him accountable. So when I went back, I brought him his survey and gave it to him in his hand. And I said, I need another tank of gas. I waited till I ran that gas. I said, I need another tank of gas. Classy lady got that other tank of gas. So I stand on business. I went in there and I could talk trash because I knew what I had coming behind me. I had good credit and I gave you some money. So the sign on that dotted line, I knew what I was talking about. So you couldn't sway me no other way or tell me anything different. Couldn't do that. So I ended up getting a car. I ended up buying another car from him. I was gonna go to the what was it? The Honda. A Hyundai. They had if you test drove the car, they gave you a Visa card. Oh, okay. Yeah, they gave you a Visa card. So, ironically, this store I stopped at, and the Mazda dealership had moved. One closed down, it moved, and they changed the name. They changed it, and I was at the store. So as I went got my snacks, because I said, dealership, they like to hold you in there all day. I'm coming down the driveway to get out. I saw a man walking up. Why, when we got closer, it was him. Same one that sold me that car I was in that I was getting ready to get rid of. He looked at me. He said, I know you. He looked at the car. He said, I sold you this car. You that crazy lady. I said, well, I'm glad you remembered me. You that crazy man. He said, what you doing? He said, it ought to be time for you to get a new car. I say, as a matter of fact, I'm headed to the Honda dealership now because I'm going to test drive a car and they're going to give me a $50 gift card. He said, oh, no, you ain't. I said, oh, yes, I am. He said, no, you getting ready to go right on across the street over there and you getting ready to get you another Mazda. I said, I ain't told you that. So he wanted to make sure I went across the street. The man was going in the store to get him some snacks. I say, go ahead and go in there and get your snacks, what you was going to get. I'm going to go over here and see what y'all got. I parked the car. I got out. I was looking at the cars on the lot. He came. He didn't see me. He went inside the dealership. He didn't see me. He looked, he said, "What, that's her car." So he looking for me. He said, "Oh, there you go." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You see something you like?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't like the color." "Well, what color you want?" I say, "The color I'm driving, and I want a roof in it." Also, we argued in the parking lot, y'all, like husband and wife. Me and him arguing in the parking lot. We took the argument. We were not really arguing, but going back and forth. We come in the dealership. We going back and forth. He saying something to me. I'm saying something smart to him. Till one of the salesmen say, "Everything all right?" He said, "Oh yeah, everything all right. This is just a crazy woman." So we still going back and forth. We passed the general manager. We still going back and forth. General manager say, "Hello." I say, "Hello." He said, "Is everything okay?" I say, "Yeah." I say, "But in a minute, you probably going to have to call 911 because I'm getting ready to knock him out." And he said, "Oh, no, you ain't." So we going back and forth. And he said, "Oh, this is one of my other customers. I know her, whatever." I say, "Whatever." We go in the office. I say, "Well, I need my phone charged up." This man took my phone. Now, he said he had a charger under his desk. He took my phone somewhere else to charge it, but so I couldn't leave. Where they do that at? He took my phone. So we go in negotiation again. And I told him about the Honda and stuff like that. He said, "Oh, I can beat that. I can beat that." I say, "Well, if you can beat it, then show me. Show me what you know." So I told him again I wanted a downsized then. I wanted another black car with the roof and everything. And mind you, of course, it done got dull. I done got hungry. He said, "Well, I got some snacks for you." I said, "No, that's why I bought some snacks, because y'all like to pull this bull crap on people when they come into these dealerships." So, again, we going round and round and round. I said, "Don't run my credit until you find something or we negotiate something." He had already did it. So he already knew. Credit score was up there. "You got any money? You putting any money down?" I say, "Well, you ran my credit. Do I need to put anything down?" "Now you can walk up out of here with your credit. But your payment, what you talking about as a payment?" Here we go with the pushing paper again. There you go with that stuff again. That's what I want to pay. So I got a down payment. I said, my credit speaks for me. That's what I want to pay. So we went around not as much as we did the other one. And I said, "You know the routine, I want a tank of gas before I drive off this lot." So we made a deal. I said, "Oh, and I want a car wash." They washed my car up. It was dark. He had to show me how. I didn't know at that time they no longer put CDs in the car. I said, "Well, what kind of mess is that? I ain't got no radio or nothing." He said, the radio it worked. He said, "Nowadays you got to hook up with these apps." And then that's when it was Sirius XM, and then if you had Pandora, and then whatever was out at that time. So I had Sirius XM in the radio. Uh, but stuff changed and technology changed and the screens changed. I didn't know anything about that, or and he had to school me on that. But nevertheless, I traded in old classy lady for a new classy lady. So yeah, we ended up making the deal or whatever. So we did that. But I feel that I'm responsible. I'm very responsible. Um, I do grown folk stuff, and we have to teach our kids to be responsible and to be dependable to a certain point. Not to depend on us for everything, but be a dependable person. As to, if you say you're gonna do something for somebody, do it. If you say you're gonna be somewhere, be responsible to be there. We need to be responsible with our money. Uh, if you're not working, or if you're working, Nobody's going to give you anything. So we have to be responsible to go to work every day. You got some people that don't mind missing a day or two in a week. And you be like your coworkers like, dog, where they get all this time from? Every time you look around, they calling in. Payday. They don't show up. It's a lot of that happen. You could tell that even some businesses on a Friday, when it's payday, like they say the eagle flies on Friday, shoot. Especially a lot of them young folk that work at these fast foods and some of these places. When they get paid on Friday, you can't find them. They short. Some of these places be short, and you could tell some of the people be working overtime, like at the grocery store, anywhere. So we have to teach our young people to be responsible and to be dependable. That means we can depend on them to do things. And the employee can depend on them to come to work. Depend on them and us to do our job once we get there. You go into a job to get a paycheck, not to go there to slack and let the other employees take up the slack, because you have a bunch of slackers. You may be a workhorse at work, which everybody should be, pulling their load. The more we pull our load, the easier it is for everybody as a collective. But if I'm a workhorse and I'm pulling my load and ain't nobody else doing nothing, well, it makes it hard for everybody else. Oh yeah, it's just to be a hot girl, hot boy summer. They ain't coming to work, especially when the sun's shining, and on a Friday, they gonna get their hair done, their nails, their haircut and stuff. Cause Saturday they going somewhere. They gonna be outside. They at the park. They at somewhere at the club or whatever. No, they want to be seen. They ain't going to work. You might catch them Monday. You catch them Monday if they on the schedule, cause they ain't coming to work for the weekend. Like this man sing this song about that hot 40, that funky 40. The woman fooled with him all during the week. But on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he can't even hear from her. But on Monday, she need $40, a funky $40. So he can get some time then, because she just spent her money on the weekend, so she need that funky 40 to go through the week. Guess what? He gives her that funky 40 because he want to spend that little time with her. But on that weekend, she out with her friends and them other men that's tricking with her. So why would you give her your money? Man, you could do better. We can do better. If that's what we doing, we can do better. $40 ain't gonna last that long. $40 gonna go like that. Especially if we gotta put gas in the car. If you need some lunch money, or if your children need some lunch money, $40 ain't gonna last. $40 gonna be gone. So she gonna get your 40 and she gonna get 40 from somebody else to make it through the week. That's how she gonna do that. But people not responsible. I often wonder how, and y'all may can tell me, how do people, especially maybe if you're single, afford 3 and 4 children to get a cell phone? And it could be them little ones. Them little bitty ones got cell phones. I don't know, how do you afford all your children to have a cell phone? You paying rent. The last time I talked to a friend of mine before she got a house, it's going on 2 years that she got a house, and she told me it was $1,800 for a 1-bedroom. I said, $1,800? I said, girl, don't you think it's time for you to step your game up and get you a house? Yeah, house is a little bit more responsibility than an apartment, because if something break in the apartment, you can call the maintenance to do it. but it's just gonna be some light work or whatever. But now apartments are making you pay water bills. You're already responsible for your light bill because everything is electric. So they ain't worried about the electric bill, but now they starting to make you pay water and trash service. It's hooked up in that, or you have to take your own trash to the dumpster. So if you got to do all of that to stay in an apartment, and you could hear people boom, 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 they playing music, and at when we lived one time, they was having sex, and the headboard or something was like be knocking, boom, 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 boom. We too close. Or they walking and stomping. And I told y'all one time about had one of y'all said it happened in y'all town where the people upstairs was making a lot of noise, and these kids, these girlfriend and boyfriend had smaller kids, and I guess they were trying to go to sleep, and they were trying to sleep, so they went upstairs and asked the neighbor, could they cut down on the noise, the booming, the music, the walk, whatever they was doing upstairs, because they were trying to get some sleep. And they walking back to their place, and the neighbor went and got a gun and shot and unalived both the boyfriend and the girlfriend. Just for asking them, could you turn your music down, or could you stop the stomping or whatever you're doing, because there's a lot of noise, and my kids are we trying to put the kids to sleep, and we trying to go to sleep because we got to get up to go to work in the morning. I'm just assuming they had to get up to go to work. I don't know. They might have been going to church the next day. But by the time they got back to their apartment, the neighbor came down with a gun and shot both of them and unalived both of them. Just for that. They being responsible parents because they got to get them kids to sleep. They trying to get them to settle down. Go up there and ask the neighbor, because that's the kind thing to do. They could have called the police and made up some kind of story. The neighbors upstairs are fighting, and then it could have been. They could have called the police. That's why people these days are so apprehensive of saying things to anybody, because you don't know. You got to check people's temperature to see how they are. You trying to be responsible about something and hold them accountable for what they're doing, but you don't want to. We trying to be nice, not calling the police, or not say if you live in an apartment complex, not call the office and report it. But then here they go and they go do something off the wall or something crazy, as unaliving you or something like that. Now me sweeping the driveway today in pain. Now I talked to the realtor. One day the realtor was outside. She got the sign up there. And I say, hey, how you doing? And I say, are you the realtor, or are you trying to buy that? She say, no, I'm the realtor. I said, oh, okay. So we talked. And in the conversation, I mentioned about that tree. I say, do you think, I said, I don't know who owned the house now, but I knew the lady, the husband, when it was a man living there before. It was a firefighter, and then he had a roommate that was a firefighter. They stayed, that man, he was the original homeowner. But he met this old tacky woman. She lived a couple of houses down, and they started moving together, lived together, and they end up getting married. Well, I didn't know one time the man had moved. So it was some suspicious cars sitting in front of the house. Old raggedy car, people sitting in the car and stuff. So I called him, and I said, do you know these people that be sitting out in front of your house? I say, I think sometimes you be going to work, and his stepdaughters, that was somebody that they were dealing with. He say, oh, I don't live there anymore. I said, what you mean you don't live there anymore? He say, we got a divorce. I said, oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. And he said, in the divorce, we had a summer house on some property. He said, I took that house and I gave her this house. Say, why would you do a dumb thing like that? Why would you give her the house and you was the originator of the house? I know you. You speak to me. She don't speak to me. That woman was living there 10 years and that woman would never speak. That woman would never raise up her hand. I would say, how you doing? Would never raise up her hand. When she would leave in her car, she would be looking straight and the children would do this, be waving, and I wave back. She never would speak. They had a fight party and a crawfish party. He came and invited me. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I had just came back from somewhere and I didn't want to go because you've been there and you have never spoken to me. So why would I go to your house and you don't speak to me? But me and him, oh, we done had conversations outside plenty of times. Plenty of times. Me and him talked in the yard and all this kind of stuff. She don't even come outside. And I told her, I said, well, she don't speak to me. He said, well, but I'm inviting you. I back up in the garage and I wasn't gonna go. I swear to God. And I don't do that. I wasn't going. Why one of his friends saw me back in and come across the yard? I don't know this man from Adam. How you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. He said, you coming to the fight party, huh? I was like, well, I'm just getting home. He say, oh, well, you could it don't matter if you just come for a little bit. Just come on over. We having a good time over here. So mind you, this is a friend that he worked with. She never came over and asked. So here I go, trying to be the responsible neighbor and be friendly. I go walk my black egg across the yard, and her friends, some friends, and the spouses or whatever. She go, oh hey, how you doing? Glad you could come. Like we best friends. I want in my mind. I'm saying you, B, you don't never speak to me, and all of a sudden you got your little alcohol in you. And well, this is my neighbor, and she introducing me. I want to say, well, how you know? Because you don't never look and speak. So I sat there, I being me. Hey, Tunda, how you doing? Maybe she was unsure, or you said insure. You think she was unsure about me? I don't know why. I had been living there. When I be outside, I'm always speaking. So it was nothing for her to be unsure about because I always speak. I always, hey, how you doing? She don't say nothing back. They could be going somewhere. She don't say nothing back. He'll speak. So it was nothing for her to be unsure about. So I went over there. I was nice and I, talked to a few people and stuff, and they asked me if I wanted anything to eat. No, I didn't want nothing to eat. I was gonna eat some crawfish, but I asked my neighbor, I said, are them crawfish spicy? He said, oh yeah, they spicy. I said, I don't do spice. So I really don't drink, so I didn't drink anything. I went to be sociable. I gave myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to stay over there an hour because at least I showed my face. I sat there, I talked with the women. I didn't act stuck up. And he was like, you want anything else? I said, no. I said, just came from a get together, so I already ate and I had a plate. I said, no. And I said, if you say them crawfish is hot, I said, I don't do spice. I think he gave me one and I tasted it. I said, oh, no. This is too hot for me. So I didn't do that. I don't know what she was insecure about. She had the man. I never tried to fix none of my friends up with him. They was a mixed couple. I never tried to fix nobody up with him. Never. Not one of my friends, not nothing. But what was she insecure about me for? She was a little fine little, well, I ain't gonna say fine, but how can I say it? She was the alright looking woman that he had. He got what he wanted. He didn't want no black woman. He wanted a white woman. He had a white woman. I wasn't trying to compete with her. But me and him always talked, you know, about different things. Uh, so I went over there. I stayed my hour. And I came on home. That was the end of that. Do you think she spoke after that? Mm-mm. She kept on with her not speaking, not speaking, not being the responsible adult. We neighbors. You know, anything could go on. We may need each other. Mm-mm. Nope. It wasn't until the divorce. Um, I had got with the trash service. So any of y'all, and this a nugget, some information. Any of y'all, or you may have a relative that may be having trouble getting their trash can out. Whether it's like you live in the city or you live in like a county area or something like that, where they have special services, check with that trash company to see if they have like a handicap system or they will come get your trash. I learned this from a good friend of mine. He told me this. He works for, he picks up for a trash service, been working there for years. And I was telling him about my back, and then he knew about my feet and stuff like that. And so he say, check with them. He say, because we have people on our route uh, that, you know, we know that certain person cannot, like it may be an elderly person or somebody that's sick or can't handle a trash can, that we, when we get on our route, we know that that person cannot pull their trash to the street. So we have to get out, pull a trash, and then they had them big arms that dump it and then bring their trash can back. And the only way we, you know, we go behind that gate, it has to be there, and then we will put it back. And he said, so check with your, lo and behold, I checked with the trash service, and I'm probably gonna have to get back on there again. But lo and behold, the trash people said that they do that, and they said, well, on trash pickup day, your trash can just have to be um, visible, or if you can pull it in the middle, but visible. If you can get it outside, we come up and we get it. And so the first time they didn't do it, I had to holler and tell a man to come back. I'm doing this, and I say my trash can, and then I showed him I had a boot on. I showed him. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." So he picked it up. So then from now on, they did that. So the one time, it was, I don't know what I was doing, and the trash can, I put it in the middle. I look outside, somebody done pulled my trash can to the street. So I go back out there, and I'm trying to drag my trash can. I didn't know she was outside. She was in the garage or something. So she seen me struggling, and she come running over, reeking alcohol. And this was in the morning, reeking alcohol. "Oh, I'm sorry, I just pulled your trash can out." I say, "No, it's in the middle of the driveway for a reason." I say, "Because the trash people know to pick it up from the middle of the driveway." I say, "It could be at the door." I say, "But I try to pull it as much as I can." And I say, "No," I say, "Please don't do that." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Every time she say something, just alcohol, she was making me drunk. This was the first time in 10 years beside me going over there to her place. Yeah, tell your uncle. Call the trash company. If he live in the city, call him and see do they have that service that he's disabled, and they can note it. And then when they come to do the trash, they should come and get his trash can uh, for him. Now I don't know if everybody do it, but it's worth to try to see because you never know. And every time she spoke, it just was the alcohol was coming. Then she began to cry and said, "I just want to apologize because I've been staying there over 10 years, and out of the 10 years, I never tried to be a friendly neighbor and come out and speak." And I looked at her. I said, "You think?" And she said, "I just want to apologize, but please forgive me." I want to go off. But being that I'm a responsible adult, I didn't. I'm a God-fearing woman. I say, "I accept your apology." I say, "No, you were not a good neighbor." I say, "But I accept your apology." And she got to crying. When we got a divorce, and she got to telling me what happened. I say, "Well, I'm sorry that happened to you." I say, "But things happen." I say, "But you have to move forward from that." And I said, "I will, I say, I will be praying for you." I say, "I'm no longer with my husband." I say, "But I'm making it. I don't let that stop me." I say, "I keep going." And I say, "You're not going to find your answers in drinking." So you're not going to find it. I say, "So, keep going. He, I know you love him, but he ain't the only fish in the sea. You'll find somebody else." So I didn't have to worry about that anymore. But depending on somebody, I don't depend on my neighbors to get it, my trash can. But after trash day, they pulled my trash can up to the garage door. So only thing I have to do is lift the garage door and just put it in a couple of steps. They don't miss. Now, if I come home and I done been out and stuff like that, I'll pull my trash can in. I'll drag that big 95-gallon thing in. I'll go ahead and drag it in. But 9 times out of 10, my neighbors, not her, because she ain't there no more. My other neighbors or the one across, somebody pulls my trash can in to the door. And if they know if I cannot pull it out, I will pick up the phone and call. No problem. I had to call my neighbor one time, a couple of times, and I say, "Can you send one of your sons over here? I'll pay him to get my trash can." "You will not." And send them right on over here to pull that trash can out. But I make friends with the people around me. I know my neighbors. They know me. I'm their responsible neighbor. I watch out. I look. I see. I observe. Same thing for me. I'm not a person that just stay there and don't know nobody around me. No, I know them. I know them. I got phone numbers for all of them in my immediate area, but the one there, because she's moved. But before she moved, she got married again. She married somebody within her same race. He was even friendly. He was the one when I was going to the doctor one morning, and my church member was picking me up, and she always got out the car and came in. When I put the garage door up, she come in to make sure I could, I didn't have no problem getting out the house. She say, "Did you know it's a dead rat in front of your garage door?" I said, "A dead rat?" She say, "Yeah." I say, "It's dead? And it's in front of my garage door?" She say, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, I can't go to the doctor today." She say, "What?" I said, I can't go outside. I can't go to the doctor today. I'm gonna have to call my brother or somebody to come get that come get that rat. He said, fool, you going to the doctor? She said, well, oh, wait a minute, your neighbor outside. So the man she married, she went over there across the yard and she said, hey, how you doing? She said, I'm here to take her to the doctor, but she won't come out the house because there's a dead rat in front of her garage door. She said, could you come and get that for her so she can go to the doctor? And he was like, ugh. I guess he was scared too. So he did. He got a trash bag and he got his broom or whatever and he raked it in there and picked it up and got it and he was like, ugh. She said, okay, he got it. I wasn't going to the doctor that day. I wasn't coming out. How did that thing, well, we got cats in the area, or maybe somebody had some poison outside. Do I have some poison outside? Anyway, I think a cat or something drug it there. But why leave it on my driveway? So, nevertheless, he did it. And one day he asked me about my license plate. And I told him what it read. Because he said, I've been trying to figure it out. So I told him. But he always did speak. He was a responsible neighbor, and I thanked him for it. I said, I'll give you another trash bag or whatever. He said, don't worry about it. He said, don't worry about it. So it went on from there. But one day, I was sitting outside, and I had my feet, I was sitting in the garage. I had my feet propped up on my knee walker, and I was sitting there just relaxing. They get in the truck, and they leave. By this time, she waving now. They both wave, and they go down this way. A car came and parked there. Well, it was the daughter, but she didn't live there anymore. Why these people turned around, I'm thinking they was drunk. They turned around, pulled up in my driveway, pulled all the way up in my driveway, get out, left the truck running. She get out, this woman hugged and kissed me on my jaw. I was like this in the chair. And I when she reached out, I patted her and she kissed me on my jaw and I was like this. And he spoke and left the truck running. And I say, no, she didn't. I was in shock, y'all. I was in shock. This woman that didn't speak to me for years got out that truck and hugged and kissed me like we've been BFFs. They went across their yard and did whatever they did for about 30 minutes with the young girl or whatever. I don't know if they had a talk, whatever. Why you pulled up in my yard? Why you didn't pull up in your yard? Y'all just left? I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. I could have been a thief and went in there and got whatever I wanted out that truck. But being that my foot was propped up and I had propped it up on the knee where it was going to take me too much time to get up, I just sat there. I say, now I must be a monkey's uncle. And I didn't understand that. They was drunk. They had been drinking. Yeah, he got the rat, but they had been drinking because I could smell it on her. And I think he got out with a beer. They had been drinking. But I didn't understand why you park in my yard and have sense enough to go to your yard. Now, it done been a time or two that I pulled, not paying attention, and I pulled up in my neighbor's driveway, and I said, and hitting the garage door, and ain't going up. And then when I pay attention and look, God dog, girl, you done pulled up in your neighbor's yard. And I back out, I have to laugh at myself and then come in my yard. But I don't pull in her yard, park, and get out and walk across the yard to my house. That's crazy. But that's what they did. So I guess I had to sit there and watch the truck. I had to watch the truck. When they finished doing what they did, they came back across the yard and told me, bye, we see you later. Got back in their truck and went on where they had to go. I thought that was the strangest thing. That was the strangest thing that I had. I didn't make sense out of it. I really didn't. I picked up the phone. I had to pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them what they did. I called my friend. She say, which one was that? The one on the right or left? I say the one on the left, the right side of me. She said, that white woman. I said, yeah. She say she did that. I say, out of all the years I've been speaking to that woman, I say she come and told me about the divorce, and then she hugged and kissed me. I thought my face was gonna fall off. Not because she was another race, because she had never did nothing like that before. That shocked me. I was in shock. I say, well, I'll be Joan Brown. I said all kind of things that day. I couldn't make sense out of it. I really couldn't. But, you know, I guess that was her. She had to do things at her own time. So, like I said, I know she got the fence ready from a storm, and I don't know if she got back with the man or not, or she moved back to her hometown. And it could be, maybe her dad got sick. Maybe she moved to the hometown where she was from, because she wasn't from Texas, but she got the house up for sale. She had some renters there that had a group home. I didn't know that till I seen them strange men. I said, what the heck is going on? But the guy that owned the group home, him and his wife, they lived down the street. They had another one, and he would keep the yard cut. He said, you want me to? And I think a couple of times he went on ahead and cut my grass too. And he said, if you need anything, and I got to know him, and I got his number and stuff. He said, if you need anything, he said, if they bother you, he said, they're not supposed to bother you. They ain't supposed to come over here. They ain't supposed to do none of that. He said, if any one of them bother you, he said, please call us first. He said, please call us first. But I got to know the house lady that stayed there with them and things, and she would come over sometime, talk and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. I'll be friendly. You know, I knew who she was. She knew who I was. I had a phone number and stuff. And she would come over and said if I needed anything to let her know any of that. And then but she wasn't the wife. She was a lady that stayed there pretty much all the time and cooked for them and stuff and did little things for them. But they never did bother me. But the lady didn't want to sell the house to him, and I don't know why. The man kept it up. He cut all his yards and stuff. He kept the house up, but she didn't want to sell it to him. She wanted to go up on the price more than what he wanted to pay. So now she got somebody leasing there, and the for sale sign been up it's going up on a year now. It's her house and another house. They the same house for a year now, going on a year. But she have somebody staying there. And I guess I don't know if the other people want to move back to Mexico or what, but they got a for sale sign. They haven't moved out. And they still staying there, but the house is not selling. Those two houses are not selling. I don't know if it's the area. I don't know if it's the realtor. Because I have a friend that's a realtor, and she's making money moves. She's selling homes. She's selling them. So I got to ask her if it has slowed down or whatever. But yeah, and I know every state is different, but if you staying somewhere and you paying a lot of money for rent, you might want to see about getting you a home, a lease, some type of lease to own, and just try it out and see how it goes. And you may want to purchase that house that you're living in, because it's basically taking responsibility. You don't have to worry about all the noise and the chaos. Now I can't say about the neighborhood, because my neighborhood is pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. Um, there are things that happen around here. I'm not saying that don't happen. People cars and stuff don't get broken into. Knock on wood, mine don't, because mine be in the garage. But another piece of nugget to y'all, y'all need to make sure your doors of your cars are locked, and stop leaving stuff in there for people visible. Because when you look on people ring cameras, the first thing these people do is walk up to your car to see if it's unlocked. Especially if it's an older car and don't lock automatically. Mine, when I get out of it, a few seconds, it's going to go click, click, it's locking. Or I can click the button to make it lock. Some of the older cars don't have that. So you need to lock your cars. Don't leave your laptops in there. Don't leave your purses in there. Don't leave your wallet. A lot of us like to put change in. Don't leave no coins visible. You don't do that. Don't leave no bags. Don't leave no work bags. Don't leave no gym bags. Nothing visible for people to walk up to your car and look in there and they break in your car. They may get something good. They may not. But they will rummage in your car. They'll go in your glove box too. So you don't leave nothing valuable in your car in plain sight. And ladies, for sure, for sure, for sure, I've done it myself. We pumping gas, or we going to get gas and give it to the attendant or whatever. We leave our purse on the floor in the front seat. Or a lot of people leave it on the seat. Don't do that. Because they quick to or if you got your car, you pumping your gas and you not looking, and you got your purse on the seat, you seen it plenty of times, or maybe you haven't seen it. These guys, they got a car waiting, you got somebody walking, they got a hoodie, and they see a woman pumping gas, they go right to the passenger side, open the door, and steal your purse. Sometimes people see, sometimes people don't. You get in your car, where's your purse? It's gone. Or they done got a laptop because you're not looking. So I'm not going to tell you to put it on the back seat, because if your car is unlocked, they still can do that on the passenger side. I take mine and put it on the floor of the driver's side. I'm right there. I'm right there pumping my gas. We're going to have to fight for you to get in my car. And when I pump my gas, I put the nozzle in there and put that clicker thing on there, and I get in my car. And I let I watch my needle. And when it's time to I get out and do that. But I don't leave my purse on the seat, nor do I leave it on the passenger side on the floor. I put it over there on the driver's side. So if you're going to get it, you're going to have to, I'm going to see you and we're going to tussle. Because once I put my nozzle in there, I'm sitting back in my car. So be careful of that, because people look for anything. I remember when I had a CD case and I was out to the club. They looking to steal something. They broke my window and they left the seat. No, they shattered my window and they left the CD player. So they didn't break in it. I guess, the window wouldn't break or something like that, but it shattered it. And I had to drive home a long way with my window shattered. I was so scared the glass was going to fly in my eye. And sometime I would drive like this. I thought the glass was going, but I had a tent at that time. The tent was on it and the tent held it together. And it didn't break, but it shattered it in a million pieces. But I had a CD case on the seat. I don't know if they saw that or what. But yeah, don't leave nothing of value in your car. Nothing. lock your doors, take the laptops out of there, stop being lazy, be accountable, be responsible. Take that stuff out of your car. Don't leave it in there. When you go shopping, don't leave them things on the front seat of your car. Take it and put it in the trunk. Yeah, they may see you put it in there, but make sure you lock your door. If they gonna have a, it's not gonna be as easy to get it out. If they trying to break your window or jimmy, it's gonna be a little harder. But at least you were responsible enough to not leave it in plain sight. You put it in the back, in your hatchback, your trunk, and you pull the thing over where they couldn't see, or you hid it. Don't leave it in there. It'll save you a bunch of heartache. Women, we carry a lot of stuff in our purse. We carry a lot of stuff. We carry everything. Some of y'all carry y'all bills in your purse. I used to do that when I was young. I thought that was the thing to do. And I'm like, why am I carrying these bills in my purse? First of all, I don't want to look at these bills every time I go in my purse. Second of all, you don't need that in your purse. Leave that at home. Stuff you don't need in your purse, leave that at home. But we have credit cards, debit cards. We have reward cards that we use. Like if you go to CVS and Walgreens and Kroger, Publix, you got your reward cards and stuff. You may have a gate card. I got a pool card for the gate for the. I don't think it worked though. But stuff like that, stuff that you think of after stuff is stolen that you can't replace. Some of us have our savings account cards in there. We may have a Medicare card. Your parents may have that in there. It's just different stuff that you have in there. You might even have cards, business cards. It's just stuff that you don't think about. But when they steal your purse or your wallet that you done left on the seat, it's a lot of things you had in there that you're not going to replace. Y'all know we used to carry pictures of our family, our children and stuff in our purse. Some people may still have that. Stuff like that you can't replace. You can't replace, so stop doing that. Be responsible and take that stuff out. Teach your kids not to leave stuff like that in their cars. Be responsible. Don't leave that stuff in your cars. Like I said, teach your kids about spending, how to manage money. They used to teach that in school. Y'all that's old enough, y'all know they used to have a class, a homemaking class. They don't even do that no more. Homemaking, we learn the basics of, some of them go a little bit further. Some people make clothes and stuff, but we learn the basic, how to thread a needle, how to thread a sewing machine, how to sew up a pocket, how to sew stuff. We learn that stuff in home economics. We also learn how at the time, I still write checks because I write them to church. But we learn how to balance a checkbook. We learn how to balance our account. That's why some people, not responsible, overdraft their accounts. Overdrafting your account. And then when you get paid and your money got to go direct deposit, that overdraft, $40, $50, trust me, they getting their money out first. Plus the penalty fees, they going to get their money out first. But if you was to balance your book, you got a ledger, you can get a ledger. And if you don't get a ledger, write it down. But if you have an account at a bank, you should have a checkbook ledger. Whether you have checks or not, you can ask them for a ledger. They don't have to be a current ledger with the calendar on the back, but at least you keep an account of what you spent. And you won't go so much far as to overdraft your account. You stop. The money ain't in there. Stop spending money on stuff you know you don't have the money for. And yeah, the banks will let you get away with it, and if you don't pay it in a certain amount, they cancel your account. That goes against your credit, whether you know it or not. That goes against your credit. So that's called being responsible. If you don't know how to balance a book or to balance and know about your money on your Cash App card or what's in your account, how can you teach your children? You can't teach your children nothing if you don't know. If you don't do it, children learn by example. If you have a father in your life, or a man or uncle or whatever, they don't teach you how to check the dipstick in your car. Ladies, we need to know how to do that. We need to, be responsible, take our car to get the oil changed. Like I told y'all the other day, they want to charge me $95 for an air filter. Called my brother, said I need my air filter changed. I went and bought the air filter. Air filter was less than $20. And I got him to put it in there. If I'd have did it at the dealership, $95. Now they telling me I need a cabin filter. I'm going to get that filter, and we have to take the glove box off. I Googled it to see how you do it. I could do it. I'm going to let him do it, though. I want to say, let me see. It was a pretty good money. I wanted to say that one may have been $65 to replace that. Going back to AutoZone or O'Reilly and get a cabin filter and let him put that in there, because I saw how you do it. But of course he gonna Google it for himself and gonna tell me, let me do it. I'm gonna let him do it, but I'm not paying that for that. And then, like I say, ladies, single ladies, we need to talk to different men, or just get opinions. You don't have to be dating them. But I mean, my brother told me, I told him about it. They said that I was going to need an alignment probably the next time I come in. He told me to take it to brake check. They give a lifetime warranty on their alignments. Let them align it, because they'll probably be, a few bucks cheaper. And then I get a lifetime warranty. So if anything go wrong, I just take it back to them, because they aligned it. And that'll keep me from buying new tires. But when I buy new tires, I don't buy one tire at a time. I change all four. And I get the insurance and all that on that, the warranties and stuff on there too. Yeah, it jack it up, but I'd rather be able to, if I got a flat or nail in my tire, to be able to take it back to Discount Tires and let them replace my tire. But when I purchase tires, I don't buy one, I get all four. It hurts, and I might have to save up to get it. But remember, I keep my credit good, so I always got a credit card. So I do that. That's me as a female. I know people buy one tire at a time. Nope, I'm going to put it all on charge card. Give me all four at one time. That way I can keep up with it. When you rotate my tires, I can keep up with it. And you supposed to be keeping up with it. If the tire ain't good, okay, well, I got a warranty on it, then change the tire. That's the only time. Or if there's a flat or something. That's the only time. But when I buy all four. And not only did my dad show me how to check the gauge, showed me how to, the windshield wiper fluid. So I always keep a jug of that in the garage. The brake fluid. I know what a power steering fluid is. But all that should be done when you get your oil change. Or if you don't go back to the dealership, when you go to these 5-minute places and stuff, and you read to see if they top that off. But at least know where it's at, ladies. Because I done drove off from a place and they said they didn't put something in there, or the oil light may come back on because they didn't put enough oil in there. You have to watch the light. Also, I got a tire gauge. I know how to check the tire pressure in my tires. Yeah. But these days, when the season changed, like from winter to summer, my tire light always seem to come on because it lose pressure. So I go to Discount Tires and they put the air. But I know how to check the pressure in my tires. I know how to put air in my tires. I have an air gauge, a gauge, and I keep it. Yeah. So that's just little nuggets that I've been dropping. That's just being responsible, a responsible adult, adulting. We depend on people for certain things, but don't make it where you depend on a person for everything, and you so lost. Cause we are independent women out here, but trust and believe. If my brother need me to cook some cornbread or cook his favorite meal, he can cook it. But he'll call and ask me what do you put in there? Do I put this, this, and this? And yeah, I tell it. But you know what he'll tell me? Mine don't taste like yours. I know it. I ain't gonna tell you everything. I ain't gonna tell you all my ingredients, but I give you the big basics so that when I cook the favorite meals that he and my dad like, I always share because he can cook it, but he'll tell you it don't taste like mine. It's just like people be saying it don't taste like mama's. You might have the same stuff mama had in there, but mama may put a little extra something in there, and that you don't know about. Yeah, we do that sometimes, but it's called being responsible and learn how you save money. Before I moved out of my parents' house, which I didn't have to, I did it because I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be independent. I started saving up. I started buying stuff. I bought bathroom towels because I knew what color I wanted my bathroom to be. I bought all the colorful towels for that. I knew kind of like what I wanted my colors, my kitchen to be. I had all of that. I had dishes. I had glasses. I had silverware. I packed all that stuff up. Yeah. So teach your kids how to do that. Even if you're getting ready for them to go to college, start buying stuff ahead of time. Don't wait till the day of or you got to go to Walmart and buy all this stuff. Start buying stuff ahead of time so you won't overspend. It's called being a responsible adult. That's all it is. Start buying stuff ahead of time. When I moved out, I had so much stuff. I had to buy stuff for the kitchen, you know, my food and some seasonings, because some I bought ahead of time. Some seasoning and stuff like that to fill up your pantry and stuff. I had to do that. But as far as the bathroom stuff and even, just neat stuff that, I knew I would need before I moved out, I had all of that. All that was labeled. Bathroom, kitchen, bedroom. I had all that stuff. Me and a friend did a buddy system. Back then, Walmart had layaway. So we went and we bought dishes, silverware, toasters, can openers, and all this stuff, stuff for the kitchen, stuff for the bathroom, and floor mats and stuff. We put that stuff in layaway. And when she went pay for her layaway, she may have put $25 on mine. When I went paid on my layaway, I may went put $25 on her. So we had a buddy system. We paid on each other's layaway. And then when it was time to get it out, we both had a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff that we needed. I would go to sometime Macy's and Dillard's and go to their clearance. I bought some beautiful dishes from Macy's. Didn't pay much for them because they was on sale. But that's the things that I used to do. I used to buy stuff ahead of time. Teach your kids how to do that. They want to move out. It ain't no hostile environment. Start telling them to start buying stuff that they would want. Even wall decorations. My mama sold home interior. Y'all should have seen the list of stuff I had on there. My mama said, "You gonna pay for any of this?" Well, you got layaway, mama. You got something I can do to defer my costs down. Some of the stuff I did pay for because I was just that independent. A lot of stuff I did pay for. And then she gave me a lot. But I wanted to show her that I was responsible enough to pay my bill. So I did. I did pay for some of my stuff. I ain't paid for all of it, but I did pay for a good bit of it. And she gave me a lot of stuff. But I was responsible. And I wanted to assure her that they didn't have to worry that I was going to take, I was able to take care of myself. It's been times I ain't had but 10 cents in my purse, in my wallet. Literally a dime in my wallet. I ain't had no other money. But payday was that Friday. So me being responsible, when I get paid, I pay all my bills. I fill my tank up with gas. I bring my lunch. I would bring it all the way down to the cookies and soda, chips, whatever snacks I wanted. I packed my lunch every day. I would cook. I ate out sometime. I would cook. But I was responsible. On weekends, I would go to my parents' house. I drug my laundry over there. Drug my laundry, washed it sometime during the weekend. If my mom had cooked or something, she would, fix me some stuff to take home. Or she might have gave me a couple of groceries. But she knew that I made sure that I paid for everything first. And if I didn't have but that, and I always put $20 aside. So I knew I had to fill up the next week. I had gas. So when I got tired of living from paycheck to paycheck like that, I got me a part-time job. So my part-time job paid for my wants. My full-time job paid for my needs. Yeah. So teach your kids how to be responsible. And you too, if you need to get a part-time job to help make ends meet, then do what you got to do. You may not work it every day, but do what you got to do. Because we all out here right now robbing Peter to pay Paul. And anybody else, they may have to wait. They may get a fraction or whatever. But, we have to be responsible and do what we have to do. Depend on people and be dependable. But when you depend on somebody, make sure that they can depend back on you. And take accountability. When you do something wrong and you're not right, like my neighbor had to do, she had to take accountability. She hadn't spoke to me in 10 years. But at that time, she took accountability and she spoke to me. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I didn't expect to stay on here this long. But, I told y'all I could talk. When I came on here, I didn't have nothing to talk about. But I found something to talk about and expound on it. And I like when y'all engage in the chat and drop down and talk to me. I can talk back. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I thank all of y'all for coming. I thank all of y'all for who have been supporting me. Tomorrow will be 11 weeks that I've been on YouTube. I am a content creator. I do a little reaction. I try not to depend on who I'm talking about. I may talk about people that everybody is talking about. I may talk about some people from a sector that I'm in. But a lot of time, a lot of y'all don't know, so I try not to do that. Because sometimes that can create mess, and I don't want to be in the mess. So I don't really talk about the people in the sector that I'm in, because if you don't know, it's not interesting to you. Why I'm sitting up here talking about somebody and you don't know nothing about what I'm talking about? I'd rather talk about either me, or we talk about some conversations about the country, the world, and what's going on in the world today. So I'm going to try to do, some current events and let y'all know different things that's going on. Because I don't care how long you've been living, it's always something that you ain't never heard about. Something that happened, and you be like, I ain't never heard that happening before. Stuff like that, just to keep us up abreast. And like I always say, let's pray for our country. Let's pray for the troops, because these are young babies that are out there. They got some old heads out there, but a lot of them are babies. And they're having to face an enemy. And I don't care if it's war or not. You may be looking in somebody's eye and you have to take them out. Because if you don't take them out, they're gonna take you out and may wipe out your whole platoon or your whole squad. So these babies got to got to do this. And just because they go to the service don't mean a lot of them are mature in the brain. If they want to listen to my theory, stop building these prisons and take them jokers out that then unalive some people and that want to be some rapists of women and older people. Take their butt out there and put them on a uniform, put them on the front line. They want to unalive people. They want to make a person have low self-esteem, afraid to come out in society. Put them jokers on front line. Strap them up. Put them a uniform up. Why are they sitting on death row for 20 years? They want to unalive, be serial killers. Put them out there. Put them out there. Let them be on the front line. Stop building prisons for them. That'll show them. That'll show them. You know. And now I was listening. The president, I'm not going to say yours and mine because I don't know who you vote for, whatever. He didn't call, what is his name? Pete Headslip, whatever his name is. I think the one that's supposed to be over the military or whatever. He putting the blame off on him that he listened to him and the general or the admiral of over the armed forces, and they told him, let's go, yeah, I think we should go to war. Nah, he done put it on the monkey on their back. So y'all will be mad at them. Not him. But you the one that sign these executive orders and tell them what we gonna do and this, that, and the other. You done toe draws with the allies and the NATO. You done gone against rules against NATO, what you supposed to do or whatever. And just like you asked Germany for some help and Germany told you no. NAO or NUYO that equals 5 + 4 is 9. Like no, and it means no in their language. We not helping. No. Because he want them to help with to get the ships through. To get the ships through that should be able to come through the waters, the Gulf, that part of the Gulf. So you making all them dumb decisions, but you want to put it out on somebody else. And I still say, I don't care what nobody say, that is cruel and mean of him. Yeah, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, that's his name. Him. He didn't put it out on. He didn't put it out on him. Him and the other general admiral, one of them other high-ranking officers. He didn't shift the blame out on them. Say that he was following their lead. Them two shouldn't be able to just make a decision without Congress. To me, that's what I thought. But you bypass Congress and you just go. You didn't even say the vice president. You said the other man. So you don't have no regards for the vice president. I don't know where he at. Y'all seen him? I ain't seen him. I ain't seen that man nowhere. I don't know where he at. Did he send him to another country to negotiate something? I ain't seen it. Or is he over there fooling with that man's wife that man assassinated on live TV? Things to make you say, The way you hug that woman, put your hand in the nape of her back, Yeah. And have they buried that other man that he said he glad he dead? He said he glad he died. That's awful. Lord, y'all have mercy. Again, pray for our troops, y'all. I'm serious. Head of defense, yeah. Oh, was he? I'm skeptical of all these refineries that are catching fire. Some of those refineries, the workers are there are contract workers. I'm scared of that, y'all. It's too many of them catching fire. Too many. And especially here in Texas. I don't know about other states, but it's too many in Texas catching fire. You have people that's been there for years, and then you have people that's been there for years that are contract workers. How you know some of them people ain't pledged ally or pledge allegiance or whatever they do to these other countries, like some of these people do, and do something to make them things catch on fire and stuff or whatever. It's been too many, too many. Every time you look around, there's one that they caught on fire. I think one was in Beaumont or Port Arthur the other day. We've had several here in Houston. Oil refineries. I just don't trust it. I may be overthinking, but I'm thinking some of them, I know some of them people are already here, already in place. They just got to decide if they want to be a suicide bomber or a crash dummy. And then they take action. Like that man did here in Austin. When they got him, he had unalive, how many people died? 4, I think 4 or something, but 13 or something it was a lot of people that got hit by gunfire. He shot a man just for when he was walking by. He got him. Then some people, young people in the bar on it was either Saturday or Sunday, just hanging out. Some young people. He opened fire at that bar. They find his car. He got all kind of flags for the other country that he didn't pledge to Allah, and he didn't, he was a crash dummy. Oh, they call them sales. Well, we got plenty of sales over here. We got plenty of them over here in place, ready to do what they gonna do. That's why I don't think these oil refineries are just catching fire just to be catching fire. I think something is going on. That's just me. That's just me and my theory. But they're already here, and it's just a matter of time which they start react. So we need to be careful and be paying attention, keep our head on a swivel. You ain't got to stop going places and stop doing things. Keep doing what you keep living your life. I'm gonna live mine. I don't stop going places. Now I don't go a lot of places at night because I'm not invited to a lot of stuff at night. If I'm invited to somewhere that it's older people involved, a lot of people nowadays are having day parties. I went to an 80th birthday party the other day. It was in the daytime because a lot of older people don't drive at night. A lot of young people don't drive at night. Now, I don't like leaving my house at 7 o'clock to go somewhere. I may not go unless I'm familiar with the area and there's no problem with parking. But to leave my house at 7 o'clock and I got to try to find somewhere and look for somewhere and places are not well lit, I just won't go. It's not because I can't see at night, because I done been places and then it got dark and I got to come home. Oh yeah, I can see. And I always say, don't let nobody run up behind my car when I'm trying to back up in my driveway. I'm in my bedroom. My garage is right there. They'll end up in my bed uninvited because I'm going to run their butt over. I'm going to crash it. I got insurance. I got insurance on the house and I got it on the car. And I'm going to crash them in here. Don't run up in here behind me and I see you. Don't do it. And I'm not stopping for nobody. I always make sure I got gas in my car. I always make sure I got gas in my car before I leave. If it's not on full, I'm not going to let it really pretty much go past the half. Because I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what may happen. Get stuck in traffic. Like the other day, I left I was getting ready to leave here Sunday. I wrote it down to about a fourth of a tank. Then it said I could go 53 miles. I said, well, where I got to go, I don't think it's but 15. So I said, that'll just be 30 miles. I'll make it back home. God told me, child, put some gas in your car before you go to that store. I stopped over here where I'm at. I put gas. I filled my car up. I got on the freeway, y'all. Coming back on the other side of the freeway, coming home. Why they had 2 lanes closed? Traffic was backed up for miles. The closer I got to the store that I wanted to go to, they had a major accident. Freeway closed. I would have had to come under the freeway and get on the freeway. It was closed right there. There's no service station there. And then further down, where it would have been a service station, the lanes was closed. The feeder roads was full. The freeway was full. Just think if I wouldn't have put gas in my car and I would have had to come back that way. I said, oh, heck no. I put, what is that, Waze in that map in my car from the store I was at to take me another route. I had to go all the way out of the area. But what it did reroute me, and I missed a lot of that traffic. But when it couldn't reroute me anymore because it wouldn't go any further, I had to come back up. I did catch a little of that freeway traffic, but guess what? When I was getting on the freeway was open. I just had to fight with the little people that was on the feeder. The freeway was open. And I got on the freeway and I saw that. I say, thank you, Jesus. That he told me, now stop and put some gas in your car. Just think, I would have ran out of gas sitting on the freeway. I would have. Because where I had to get on the freeway, it was no gas station. And even if I rode the feeder road, it was miles that I had to fight with the traffic on the feeder. And I probably would have ran out of gas. So, be responsible. Take heed. When you get them little feelings and they tell you to do something. And I never run my gas tank that low. But I'm glad I listened and I filled my tank up. I say, thank you, Jesus. Looked on that other side and all that traffic. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I knew my brother and them was coming from out of town, coming back that way. I asked him where you at. I told him, I said, you may want to take an alternate route. I say, because the freeway is backed up. If I don't want to sit in all that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go. I guess somebody either reported me or this thing didn't click out for live twice. So I'm over 2 hours. Thank y'all for coming in. Like I said, I'm Classy Lady. Come on at 8 o'clock. Pretty much I try to come on every night if I'm feeling okay. Same person, same channel, same time. I was about 5 minutes late today. Hit the like button going out. If you're new to my channel, watching me, viewing me for the first time, please consider coming back. These are the kind of conversations that I have over here. Talk about life and life issues. And sometimes if I have a story to tell about myself, I will. I don't say nothing on here that can't be repeated. So if you're on here and you're on here for malicious reasons, whatever I say, you can't hurt me with it. Because it's my truth and I live in my truth. So with that being said, angels on everybody's pillows. Everybody have a good night. Have a good work day tomorrow. And Classy Lady will see y'all later.